Brodes Media.
Green Bay it is. And we'll get into some of the things that happened against the Giants. But where I want to start, I can't shake this opening line by Vegas for this game. The Eagles are standing at home with the 14-3 record, with the best defense in the league, and with Saquon against that Green Bay filth that hasn't proven they can do it against a serious contender once, not one time have they been able to do it. So let me get this straight. It's a 3.5 point spread coming to the link. There's no logical reason for that to be the case. I know some of you are thinking, well, duh, Jalen Hurts. Vegas has the information on the direction it's trending with the quarterback, and that's factored into the equation of the 3.5 point spread. If he was 1,000% a go, and I'm not saying what we understand publicly, what's known behind closed doors. My overall point is, this may be even worse than I thought, and it's already taken a long-ass time for us to get to this point with Jalen, considering he's still not through protocols. But why is it 3.5? Are they just that grossly overrating Green Bay, or not admiring and appreciating the Eagles enough? Are they disrespecting the Birds that much? Maybe they are. Maybe it's that simple. I find it hard to believe Jalen isn't going. But what if he truly is messed up? Because this line is bizarre. It's ludicrous. So I hate to go down that road after really being excited about a playoff run here. But this is making me lose my marbles a little bit. I don't get it. Something we'll have to keep our eye out on for. That's for sure. All right, so look, that game against the Giants was painful. I tried convincing myself throughout the week that it won't be that terrible, and here's why. Tanner McKee is essentially going in his Super Bowl. After what he's been through, late draft pick, being a project, OTAs, his job during the practice week, it's all the stuff behind the scenes. That's a grind. You play well last week against Dallas, and now you're getting the full nod as a starter. You don't think that dude is locked in? Of course. So, hey, Brodes, you're going to be getting Tanner McKee's Super Bowl. And he did fairly well. All jokes aside, my man throws ropes. That's what he does. It's not surprising. Every time we've got a minuscule amount of Tanner McKee in our lives, it's been that every time. He throws a good ball and he puts it in the breadbasket and he's finding Dotson. And there was even one play, he's about to get sacked. He's got two guys on him and he finds a nice way to dump it off in the flat. And then you got skill position guys making the Giants miss a bit. Man, the Giants suck, don't they? They suck. They were trying. Them being that undisciplined late and, roughing the passer and neutral zone and all that stuff, that's not because they want what's best for the Giants. Those players don't give a damn about that organization right now to do things that terrible for the better good of whoever may even be in charge. There's a big question going around on, is the GM staying? Is he married to Brian Dable? Is he not married to Brian Dable? You think they're making decisions for the better of the franchise? That's why they have 14 losses, because they're stupid. And I was rooting for them because, yeah, of course, after Malik Neighbors gets a touchdown and makes it 17-10, there's nothing more I would love in this world than to see the Giants go from the 1 pick to the 4 pick to maybe the 9 pick. I don't care about this game that doesn't do anything for me. Well, I would feel bad for maybe McKee because the alternative, which is what we saw right now, is a better story for us. But ruin the Giants, that would have been tremendous. Not that we have to spend energy on that because they kind of urinate all over themselves anyway. It is what it is. So, Tanner McKee. I'm not wasting my breath on any of the things I saw mid-game, and some of the reaction is typical and what you probably would have expected if McKee was to throw the football well, and it was, debating Kenny Pickett, some debating if he's better than Jalen Hurts, and seriously, when I tell you I wanted to smash my head against a cement wall for 36 hours straight when listening to some of the things people were saying. Oh, yeah, it was just unbelievable. I'm not going to waste my breath on that. I have a goal in mind. I'm trying to win a championship. I want to go to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts is the starting quarterback of this football team. If it crosses the bridge or we cross the bridge when we get there, that whole thing, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. If there's a world where that becomes a reality and we got to talk about Pickett, McKee, fine. Now, let's get into what I saw from Tanner McKee. I thought he was in control. This is nothing different from the Kenny Pickett discussion we had where I asked, before we even get into execution, before we even get into what plays were called and what throws were made, does his body language scream, I am in control of this thing? I am in charge. I'm comfortable. Does he look grounded? Hell yes, he did. And that is absolutely what I expected and no surprise. And that says a lot, though, about where he is in our eyes. There's not many teams that would have 3 quarterbacks and your third stringer, you feel this confident. I believe that this team could win any football game, for the most part, with Kenny Pickett, Tanner McKee, Jalen Hurts. And that is not a knock on Jalen. It's not a knock on Jalen. It's an appreciation for the team that is structured here, for sure, under Howie Roseman. I think they have 3, one being a serious starter, but with the roles being viewed in a certain way of Kenny Pickett in a backup role, Tanner McKee in a backup role, I don't think you see a 1, 2, 3 this strong in the league. I know there's some Jalen Hurts haters out there that are going to love the direction that went. But I promise you, it's not what you think it is. We now know at this time, obviously, it's the Green Bay Packers, and I wouldn't have been worried if it was the Commanders. And there was a part of me that was rooting for it because when they pulled Daniels out of the game, we don't care where we're ending up. We want to go to Philly. Yeah, we go to Philly. We be all right going to Philly. Whatever. The way that move spoke to the public, we took offense to it because they probably do have arrogance. They probably do think their shit doesn't stink. And they're wrong. It stinks. It stinks. But they don't think it stinks. And they're going to walk in here with this stupid arrogance, and they're going to get smacked in the face and mollywopped, okay? With Jalen back. If that is the case. And it will be the case, I think. It's not even a contest. So I wanted to make the Washington Commanders rethink the way that they would have entered this week. Because they would have been overconfident. And you're just not prepared for what this time of the year means at that stadium. The link, when it's cold, the link, when it's an Eagles home playoff game, it eats you alive. Not for 1 second do I think a cold-blooded Daniels can figure it out. No. It swallows you up. Vic Fangio, if that defense starts to cook, that defense starts to get 3 and outs, that defense suffocates you, your brain will be bouncing off your skull. Asked if he would have stayed in if the Commanders absolutely needed the game. This was on Daniels. 100%. They'd have to drag me off the field. Some quotes coming out of Washington. Do we have people worried about Green Bay? Green Bay isn't an ideal first-round matchup for the Eagles. There absolutely are NFC teams I'd rather the Birds face, but I still very much believe the Eagles are the better team, so it's not really worth panicking. If they lose, it's because they stumbled. Now, that's Charlie O'Connor, who does a good job covering the Flyers. I do enjoy reading his stuff. He's actually one of my favorite beat reporters in the city for Flyers hockey. I do think he does a good job. I disagree on the Birds take, though. I don't flinch for half a second with Green Bay. Do not allow for any sort of outside noise or outside sources change the fact of this team's identity, their brand, their intensity. They are filthy. The Eagles are disgusting. I promise you, no one in Green Bay who can objectively view this game. If they're rocking it through their cheese glasses, then fine. But objectively speaking, if you're Green Bay in their current state and you were coming to the away team being the Eagles, you're going to the Link, and that's the away team that you end up striking when the regular season's finished. Ooh. I'll encourage my squad. I'll root for my squad, but it's an uphill battle. That's the right way that they're going to view it, with the right amount of fandom and logic, if there is anybody who can do that. And that's because you won't make it out alive.